welcome back to Denmark and welcome back to my road trip around North Jutland. I'm starting today's video in a place that I, to be honest, really didn't think I'd be starting today's video. On a Caribbean style, white sand, palm tree lined beach, and I'm going to be driving up towards Skagen. This has got to be the world's most northerly palm beach. It all started back in 2004 when about 30 palm trees were brought here. Now there are over 100 and it is officially known as Denmark's most exotic beach. I think I'm going to take a walk along it, head back towards the car, and then we better get cruising. Walking along the avenue leading to Cloos Tower. This is the largest tower, observation tower anyway, in the whole of Denmark. It was built in 1962 and the story behind it essentially is a guy named Christian Cloos who died in 1941 unmarried. He donated a large section of land and a lot of money to the town of Frederikshavn. One condition though was that a tower would be built in memory of his parents, and in 1962 that became a reality. The tower is right here ahead of me. Look at that. It is absolutely massive as I stand here underneath it. We are going to be heading up to the top. We have a decision to make. Do we go for the upper door or the lower door? Well, let me tell you, the upper door would reward us with 315 steps. The lower door would give us the option of an elevator that would whisk us all the way up to the top of the tower. I think I know which one I'm going to go for. I think I'm going to take that elevator ride if it is offered to me. I am going to head in just a second, but before I do, let me tell you about Christian Cloos. So he was born in 1863. He died in 1941 at the age of 78 years old. And he was a big name in the town because he ran a grocery store, a very large grocery store that had been founded by his father in 1864. We're going to walk through this door now and see if we can find the elevator switch. Here we go, round here, there we go. The elevator is there waiting for me. Okay, let's get in here. Is there any buttons to press? Yes, there is. Let's just hit the up button. And I think we're rolling. I am out of the lift. Unfortunately, my memory card ran out of capacity, so I've had to change it over, so I didn't get the big shot as I come out of the lift, but I will still show you what I can see in just a second. But before I do that, let me tell you that the ticket to get up here cost 30 Danish kroner. That is around about £3, £3.50 sterling, about €4. So a pretty decent amount. Very echoey, so let me show you what I can see. Over here it shows what we can see on a very, very clear day. So we possibly will be able to see Skagen, which is where I'm heading towards in this video. Down here is Frederikshavn. There's the wind turbines in the sea, and sure enough we can see that in the distance there as I zoom in. Incredible views from the top here. And as I come out again, it is going to be a little bit too misty to see Skagen, but what an incredible view, what wonderful scenery, lots of agricultural land, lots of fields, lots of meadows, trees. It is rolling hills in this section of Denmark. Really, really cool to see it. The lift goes to the lower of 3 observation decks. I'm now walking up to the top one. The tower in total is 60 metres high and it stands 160 metres above sea level. Unfortunately, we don't get an outdoor section, but it is pretty cool to see the scenery even if it is through glass. Round here there is a little bench where you can have some lunch and enjoy the view out towards the fields of Denmark. Hopefully we won't need that number. Right, back in the car and then we are heading north. I am back out the car and I can assure you this stop will not disappoint. Keeping with the theme of sand, we have arrived at Northern Europe's largest migrating sand dune. It is called the Råbjerg Mile because it is just under a square mile in size and it moves about 15 meters every year across the Danish landscape. I am currently walking through some of the smaller dunes that surround it, but up ahead I can see people walking on this incredible mountain of sand. It kind of looks like I'm in the middle of the desert. Let me turn the camera around and I'll show you what I mean. So this is where I am right now. You can see if I try and get up here a little bit, the sand is really hard to walk on in trainers, but there is the grassy dunes. But round here, look at that, you can see people over there like ants crawling all over that giant sand dune. Holy smokes, nobody told me there was a desert in Denmark. Now I know for sure there is. It is surreal to be walking out here. Look at this. I am in the middle of a square mile of sand dune. That is pretty much what is happening. I'm going to try and climb up here next and get a peek over the rise, see what's up there. But the sand is pretty soft. Beautiful, look at it, that is just amazing. There's some people over there as well for size. And as I look back to where I've just been, I'm leaving some footprints behind me. And there's also another reason why I know that I'm in Denmark and not the deserts of the Middle East and all of that. It's starting to rain. I have come all the way out here, no coat, just a jumper. I'm in the middle of the sand dune now. It is starting to rain. Let's just hope it's a few spots because we do not want a downpour when I'm out here. And as I look over, you can see some water, more dunes up there in the distance. You can see just how incredible this is just creeping across the landscape because just over there is a grassy meadow. And because the dune moves so quickly over the decades and centuries, probably in years to come, this sand dune will be in a completely different place. It will be further, I want to say west. I think it's moving from east to west. So eventually it will crawl right the way over the peninsula and disappear back into the sea. Well, the rain is easing up a little bit, but those storm clouds behind me look pretty moody, pretty angry. So I'm going to stay clear of those, stay out of the way. The sand dunes are over there behind me. The sun's shining from that direction as well, and they're looking really, really nice lit up in the evening sunlight. I've also heard about a sand-buried church not too far away, so I think what I'm going to do is try to make it over to that so I can learn a little bit more about it. We've got a little trail to follow in order to get to the church I want to show you. In the 16th and 17th centuries, moving sand dunes had created quite the problem for local residents and homeowners, so much so that they lobbied the government to do something about it. In 1857, the government passed the Sand Drift Act, which essentially meant that they could purchase land that was significantly affected by the sand drifts. And what the government would then do is try to stop the sand from moving by planting sandgrass and conifers in its way. Now that wasn't great for that landowner because they lost their land to the government, but it did save a lot of other landowners who over the decades would have lost their land as well as the sand moved slowly across the landscape. We're getting closer now to that church, so I'm going to continue onwards and I will tell you the story of what happened here when we get a little bit closer. So I didn't expect the door to be open. It is getting late, so I think what I'm going to do is head in, see if I can climb in there at all, and then I'll tell you the story from inside. There's nobody about, but there is a door open inside here that looks like it might go up into the tower. It is pretty steep, pretty narrow. Not sure I can get around here with my rucksack on. Oh, just about, there we go. So let's head up and see how far we can make it. It is brick built by the looks of it. How incredible. I did not think I would be climbing up this church today. That is where I've just come from. Looks like there is the dome of the church itself. We've got to walk around a wooden walkway and then up there, I think, into the rafters. The church itself dates back to around about the 13th or 14th century, and it was originally dedicated to St. Lawrence of Rome. However, the problem was the sand. It got really, really bad in the 1600s, 1700s, and by 1795, the church and the bell tower was abandoned. The church itself, the main building, was demolished, but the bell tower, which is what I'm currently climbing right now, was left at the mercy of the sand, and we are now at the top, I think. Take a look at that. They're the steps that I've just climbed up, and my goodness, some history here in the making, that's for sure. I can see some birds up there, perhaps some bats, tiles, and as we look out the window, look at that, we can see rain, we can see the sun over there in the distance, we can see sand dunes. Let's have a look in the other direction. Very much the same. More grassy dunes and the sea over there in the distance. And we are on our way back down again. Wish me luck, this is pretty steep. That's where we've got to head. I'm hoping to make it to my next destination, my final destination before sunset, which is in about half an hour's time. Incredibly enough, there is nobody else here at this church, so I've been very lucky to have it all to myself for the last 20 minutes. Right, I better put this camera down and concentrate on where I'm stepping. This is pretty darn steep. We have just a couple of moments until sundown, and I've made it across 6 minutes drive to a place called Sunset Beach. I didn't think we were going to get a sunset because it was so cloudy and miserable, but as we look out into the west side of the beach. There we go, take a look at that. You can see the sun out there. It's come out for us, it's come good. Well, considering how incredibly windy and stormy it is a miracle that we managed to see the sun slip below the horizon. What a magical experience. It's always incredible to see the sun go down like that. Absolutely unreal. And I think with the sun going down, that is going to be the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching. Tomorrow, in the next video, we're going to be exploring Skagen. We're going to be seeing the area where two seas meet, and we'll see what else we can find. It's going to be a great day. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, but hopefully I'll see you tomorrow in the next video.